Okay, we're going to run another report again, this time with the example for the flickerfoundation.org.uk. So this is the donkey sanctuary, and we're going to focus in on the links section. So we can start to make a comparison about how they're doing. So we can look at the WWF and versus this, and we can compare how the two are doing against each other. Just give you a richer understanding of what these different sections mean. So as before, it's nice and quick to run. You get an overall score, you get their recommendations, but I'm going to take you through what I think we can improve on what they're doing well at anyway. As you can see, the sections and where they are, where to focus. Now, D is not very good for them. So we're going to go through the link section and see potentially what we can improve, I reckon, with this one. So let's go down. We already did the on-page SEO with the earlier video. So now we're going to go through the links section. When we eventually get there, God, it feels forever, isn't it, when you're just scrolling? Or maybe that's just me. So as before, backlinks, you have two different ratings and color coded. You can probably tell that red doesn't mean not very good. Amber's not great. It's not medium. So you'd ideally want it to be green. Domain strength means, so flickerfoundation.org.uk is your domain. So it means how long it's been around. So what's the quality of that domain? And it takes that from several factors. How long it's been around and how many different backlinks or other domains of a high quality are linking to that website. The page strength is kind of similar. It's also looking about what different links go to the pages and the quality of those backlinks, but also as well the quality of the content of your website. So the copy on your website, is it relating to the keywords potentially that people are searching for? So let's go through. You can see there's lots of improvements here. So I would probably discuss with them potential partnership opportunities in how we can get richer and stronger content. Backlinks, that's the amount of links that another website is linking to yours. Referring domains, that's just the specific domain name. So you would expect this to be lower because the domains like the flickerfoundation.org.uk, but say WWF was linking to them, that would count as one domain, but maybe they had 10 links, it would count as 10 backlinks. No follow, just different elements of your links. You need to actually investigate different linking, maybe Google Console or something like that, to go and have a look and see what the different links are. Well, actually, it's Google Search Console. And no follow just means that there's the links that are following, the links that are coming to yours from other websites actually have a say no follow. So sometimes they are not actually helping you a lot because they're not giving you some of their SEO juice, shall we say. This is also the type that you have. So do follow. That's good. That means they are giving you some of the SEO juice, shall we say. Educational backlinks, you have none of them from this domain type, and there's none on here from the government domain type. Subnet's just a bit of a strange thing, but it's how things are set up. And your IP is your IP address. This indicates, because this they have this, normally it's a smaller company if they've got the IP address there. But don't worry about these kind of things. It's more about the quality of the link. So when you look at the top backlinks, it gives you the strength. This is what they mean by the quality. The higher the number, the better. You want that 100 is the top one. So as you can see, 94 is pretty good. This is the actual website and the link to that website is referring. And this is the title page it's referring to. It's a special auction for the donkeys, and that's the text that they're using. So that's where the link appears on their website, the title page of their website. And this is the text that's used to link. So actually the text could be improved because this website's not the best, but it'd be great if it was something like, the Donkey Sanctuary website, or actually the Flickr Foundation Donkey Sanctuary, just because it just helps with the connection with the keywords a bit more. One thing I would note straight away, though you've got a great domain strength, is look, it's called archive. So it's good to have a visual view of these different links. This indicates that it's an out-of-date page. It also probably indicates why their ranking is so low, because they don't have up-to-date relevant backlinks to their website. That means that it's not copy that's live and it's not copy that's stayed up to date. Just Giving, that's a nice one as well. But as you can see, it's 2019. It's a little bit of update. So these are good links, but you want to assure that you create a partnership with them to get more up-to-date copy. So either for the first one, where it's saying a campaign, create a new campaign, but relevant today. For Just Giving, create a new Just Giving, but relevant for today or this year at least. And you'd have to, a lot of the time, it's worthwhile taking these URLs and just popping them into the browser, just so you can see what they are. As you can see, this is a nice page, actually. So it's quite easy for them to update it. There was an art auction. So if they had some art, which was current on this year, this would be a wonderful picture to update. You don't have to change the copy much, but you would just use the same, but just make sure it's relevant for today's date, or shall we say today's year. Just a bit more time sensitive, really. You don't have to do too much sometimes for those backlinks to improve. And it's worthwhile helping a company going through these different elements and saying, hey, can we just create copy here? Because this could get us up the Google page rankings pretty quickly, because there's already backlinks that we could use or already in place. And there's a word that you'll hear a lot, authority. So when those backlinks have a high quality and there's an authority, i.e. they've been used and now they're started to be trusted by Google, they've built an authority around that, they're good to reuse. So always ensure that your content in your copy with those type of links are always staying relevant and up to date. Top pages backlinks. So these are the pages that the other websites go to on this current Flickr foundation. So where they link to the external websites, what are the top ones on this charities organizations that are the landing pages? So no surprise here, it's more the homepage is the number one with 547 links. However, I don't know if you can tell, after HTTP, there's no S. Now, Google changed the dynamics a lot, that you really do want your S after it. This just means it's secure. There is a certificate called a secure socket layer that is in place. And they put that there because when you give your data across, you enter information, it just makes it a lot more secure. Okay, so Google doesn't like it not having the S anymore. So I would try it and see if I can get my backlinks to update it to put the S in there. It does actually default. So if you used this, it does default to the HTTPS. Let me show you. So it's going to work, and I'll click back on here. You'll see the S is there. However, there's not specifically, and they don't do 100% how it's going to affect your SEO. I personally would want to try and update all my backlinks to assure they have the S there, just to see how it does help the SEO rankings, but also as well to future-proof things a little bit more. It's also a good strategy to start re-engaging with those people and see what new content we can create. The donate page, that's a bit low. And also look at campaign opportunities to say, hey, can we increase this donate page? What other things can we do? What partnerships can we set up? This could be with other charities. This could be with local schools and fundraising. There's no right or wrong. An anchor page. Now, again, terminology rich. Anchor is just the piece of text, the word used on a page to connect to yours. So flickerfoundation.org.uk is actually used quite a lot. So say WWF, link to them, they would use on their website. So WWF has a page, their website. They would actually use a link called flickerfoundation.org.uk. It's 424 times that's been used. Another one, actually what I'd want to change is website. That's used quite predominantly at 191 backlinks. However, I'd probably try and want to have keywords in there maybe. It's nice to have URL because that tells Google again that your domain authority is quite strong. So it's okay to have the URL, but I would also, instead of website, I might have something like keywords I would prefer, like donkey sanctuary or animal donkey sanctuary, something where it's helping to connect to the purpose of the website too, and my keywords, not just the word website. Because you can imagine quite a few people have that. Yeah, instead of visit website, it could be visit the Donkey Sanctuary would be a better one, or visit the Donkey Sanctuary's website. There's little tricks and tips that we don't really always think about when we do these backlink strategies. And because we don't own those pages, because it's another website linking to ours, sometimes it can be difficult. That's why it's worthwhile always setting up some trusted partnerships with people and using that as part of your content strategy going forward. As in with links, it tells you roughly where they came from in terms of the domain extension. So whether it's a .co.uk, so here's the majority at 110, whether it's a .com, so 102 of them, whether it's an organisation, whether it's just specific from the UK or others. Now, others could be anything. That you can have lots of different domains now. You can have .it, .vodka, .music. There's lots out there. So I wouldn't worry too much about the other or what these are. At the moment, I can't think of anything at the top of my head of how that specifically might help you. What is interesting, I find at the moment, is the countries. So you get an idea of where the countries are coming from. So some from the US, some from the UK, some from GB. And this number will differ. Like, so 107 does not mean, like the US typically you have a .com extension, but you can use .com extension in different countries. There's no, I have to have a .com in Spain, or I have to have a .com in the UK or even the US. So the countries I find a bit more interesting because it tells you where that domain's registered. So I find it interesting not because of where the domain's registered, but because you get an idea of the segments and the country of the people visiting you. So a lot from the US on this one. And yet it's a UK organisation. So it's quite interesting to see what that means then. Does it mean people are visiting that centre from the US? Does it mean it's just that the domain was registered from the US? I might want to investigate that a little bit further. Right, on-page link structure. Now, they are saying this is about whether it's a follow or not follow. So in other words, all through the pages where there's a link within itself and it's internal and it says follow, that's all good. That's telling the search engines, yeah, go and have a look and see where it goes and help that with my SEO rankings. When it's external, it depends if you want to follow it or not, whether you think this adds value. Now, this Twitter is they're probably owned because it's the Flickr donkeys, and we know it's X now, but it's probably their owned channel. So I would follow it. It's an external link and I would follow it. Instagram, it's their social networking site, again, external link, and I follow it. Where I wouldn't follow if it's an external link that I don't necessarily know or own. So I wouldn't follow another charity's social networking site, but I would follow my own. Okay, let's see what's here. Show details, friendly links. Now, this is where they are easy to understand. And this one is quite easy, I guess, but it would have been nicer, like Flickr Foundation. But afterwards, easy to understand, stuff like this, help-center. Just so a human can easily see the meaning. And another way of writing it would be help center. However, can you imagine if you have things translated, if you have a reader, it doesn't always know what the separate words are. And the reader, if you remember, are for those that are visually impaired. So it's good to have hyphens like this. They might not like it. I'm not 100% sure, but they might not like that the flickerfoundation.org.uk is one word because it's saying file names. This is a bit techie, right? I wouldn't worry too much, but I would play about to see and do some research whether if it did have a hyphen, if it'd be improved. However, I wouldn't recommend or do it for this charity because they've already got their domain that's been around for a while. So they've started to create an authority around it. What I would assure is like how they've got good practices here, they continue to do. So contact-us, ways-to-help. I've got a feeling this file name and this X might be to do with their main domain, but changing at this late date probably won't help them. It could actually hinder them. Length just means you don't want a too long URL. And there's other things that they want them to be. Parameters. This is the thing where you might see something like a fun question mark after things. And you don't want, well, you do want that for analytics and tracking. And that's, that's really helpful for the marketeers to understand how successful campaigns might be. And for like the roles I've been where you understand your analytics and where people are going, the user journey, all that kind of jazz. So I love it. It can also help for experience. However, it's not always the best for SEO, and it's hilarious because Google even puts their own tracking in. So parameters normally can mean anything after like this question mark. They don't have it here, which might indicate it might not be such a sophisticated site in terms of the layout, and also as well that they don't have different campaigns driving to this website, which I'm not shocked about, because they do have a campaign that was back in archived and back in 2017, or was it 19? So I'm not surprised that they don't have more kind of up-to-date tracking. However, that is doing them a favor here on SEO. And that's it now for the sections. So I will come back to you and we'll be going through wwf.org.uk again, just to look through the usability section. And we do the same again for this Flickr foundation, so we can do a comparison and compare, and you can get a thorough understanding of the different sections. Speak to you soon.